I don't know how I'm starting, but words about starting are going to start flowing now. Markolide is back. Markolide is back. Welcome back to Markolide, Shirin.
Hi. Exactly.
We people have been trying so hard to flow towards our deadlines, and so we had to come back to this space with an art prompt, and we will soon get into why our names are changed. So should I straight up get into the art prompt?
Yeah, let's start with it.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
what was happening was like, when you're closing towards any deadline, whether it's school or work deadlines, big project events are happening, you are on this go, go, go juice. And then the moment that thing is done, you still have some go, go juice in you and you don't know what to do with that, right? And that's the conversation that Shirin and I were having before this. And I was like, yeah, I totally relate to that. Why don't we just take that go-go juice and create some art around it that will help us process that, or maybe not. So the prompt was creating a pause button, and however we want to like decorate that pause button. So to create that, Shireen suggested a song. So please take it away, and she's gonna tell us why our names are changed.
And obviously, for some reason, and as it happens with us, in a, I don't know, happenstance, and this song is coming to mind, which is called Naam Hai Mera Fonseca from Jo Jeeta Bhai Sikandar. And this film and this songs are very special to us in our household. And
Yeah.
we listen to them quite a lot. So we know them by heart. And I just like that spirit was in me, and I said, Chalo, let's listen to this song. And
Hmm.
since then, looking at Monica and Fonseca in this song, we're like, let's do it. Let's
Yes.
try and take on the energy that they possess in the song, do the dance and the flamenco of sorts that they're trying to do
And you know what
in the.
was the Markolide that occurred right before you suggested the song and it started to play? And by the way, I don't remember that music video or the song. I had picked up charcoal and a red pen. And Monica's dress was that red tassels, and when she moved, there was black underneath it. I was like, "What a mark light!" And I was waiting to start recording to tell you this.
Yeah, yeah. I think Red in and the other song that we saw also, that's why Red became important.
Exactly, and like it was weird how I was already sitting with red and black. So what have you created?
So my pause button, I went very like literal to the pause, and then I
Mm.
just went and I realized. I mean, I guess it thanks to all the understanding of symbols and metaphors that we've been doing for the past few days, quite a few days, and sitting with those ideas. I think I just went into it in a flow of a sense. And the idea of pause being balance and balance being flow, and the essence of being, I guess, in the moment or taking a breather. So I think that was where it was coming from. Just like at this stage, what all we need collectively in the class is just a breather, some
Yeah.
space to breathe and be like, okay, we did it. It's
Yeah.
done. It's out of the way. We have a way to go, but like that major, all the roadblocks have been cleared. And yeah, so just be in that moment to be like, I guess, grateful and acknowledge that. And what
Yes.
has your been your creation?
I feel like the acknowledgement was such a necessity right now. The
Hmm.
acknowledgement of the pause. So, so I created. wings around my pause button, and I'm somehow never able to match the left with the right,
Mm-hmm.
in whatever artworks that I try to do. So yeah, of course, the left wing and the right wing is different. So I created, of course, with red and black,
Of
and
course.
this wing has glitter on it,
I love
and,
it.
and I used my you don't like the name, but the distress crayon. And yeah, like I was feeling that sense of freedom, like, ah, it's done, it's submitted, I can pause now. So yeah, and I, for memory's sake, for future memory, I've like written the song down on which we both were creating, because I think for future me it will be special to look back at this.
But also, just like a pointer, I mean, you have created your wings, one in the shape of leaf and one in the one with spirals. I made concentric circles and waves. What is it?
So for the people
Give reference, please.
viewing, just a little brief that we were writing a paper on symbols that have um, occurred as a pattern throughout our previous semester. And so for me, it was leaves and spirals. And for Shirin, what all was it?
It was spirals and waves, and then those spirals which, like, they are with a wave. So waves, spirals, concentric circles, and the asymmetrical aspect of those.
The Van Gogh sky.
The Van
Like
Gogh.
that. Yeah. So yeah, I was like literally thinking of wings, and it is very leaf-like, and yeah, just like trying to create another wing-like thing.
Yeah, because there's like that dichotomy and that aspect, these are like sharper edges, but they're leaves, and that they wing outside, and then this has this element of spiral and spiraling, so which is creativity also.
Yeah.
Very
A-
interesting.
And I just was glancing over to show you the subliminal messaging thing.
I
And if you could explain, do you want to explain subliminal messaging?
think it will be better coming from you. I'm going to try and give my own understanding of it after you say. Oh, interesting.
This
Yeah.
was sitting on my bed, and there is so much red and black happening here. No wonder I was sitting with red, and I'm just like looking at other items. There is one shopping bag which is completely red with black elements, which is creating a face with letters. More red, less black. So I think so. Yeah, subliminal messaging is like just suggestible items in the environment creating
An
coherent
impact on
thought.
your subliminal, basically your subconscious, and kind of, I guess, tricking us into being able to create or recognize those as ours when the environment has been poking and prodding in those directions in multiple manners. Call them Markolides if you wish.
Yeah, and marketing people do this a lot. They use subliminal messaging for, they'll have these little prompts for you to, I think Zomato does it best. Zomato is coming to my mind. Like they would send, the notifications would come in where क्या बात है आज खाओगे नहीं. Yeah, so they'll have fun things like that, or they'll use the pizza emoji to promote that, and then suddenly you are going back home or whatever, and you're like, I have no idea why do I feel like ordering only pizza today, and then you go back to your notification drawer if you've not cleared it, you see that there was pizza emoji used like 5 times, and with Zomato saying something that your friend would say. So I feel that's a good enough example for
Yeah, and
subliminal
another
messaging.
example that's been happening thanks to your example, which makes me again in terms of food. So because I've been watching a couple of K dramas, rather just perusing them to kind of pick something that I genuinely like or find interesting enough to watch. For some reason, in all their, they're not even subtle about it. They do direct product placement of Subway. All of them, they tend to just go there to eat, and it's not like it's the other one, it's that supraliminal, I think it's called, when it's direct, like the product placement aspect of it. But the idea
Supraliminal.
is that hmm,
Hmm.
the idea is that for me, I have taken it, I've not looked at it, because I can consciously see that that's what they're trying to do, they're promoting a particular brand. But
Yeah.
in my head, I've just been craving a Subway. It's been like there have been these different elements that just got me there. I'm not sure then it becomes subliminal, to be honest.
Because then it'll be a Markolide, right? Because you've already been sitting with the craving of Subway, and then there is that direct marketing. What was the word you said?
Product placement. The
Yeah,
direct marketing aspect of it, where they put the product in the films and they're
yeah,
not subtle about it.
yeah. So it was already there alongside your craving. So I'll say that it was a Markolide. But this and the motif that I just
That is
shared,
definitely subliminal
that is
perception,
definitely,
subliminal messaging. Yeah,
yeah.
I just think so.
So that's what
And
I wanted to get into. That when we have this crunch time of this deadline where our mind needs to be active and working and writing, conceptualizing, and all the icings that are required for the deadlines to be done, what are the things that you do to soothe yourself? Or, like, let's talk about comfort food first, because it takes a lot, right, to be able to have that continuous flow of that headspace to be able to finish your deadline. So yeah, let's begin with comfort foods.
I think in terms of comfort foods, again, I guess this level of getting into assignments for me has only been in relation to one, when I was studying abroad, when I was really intense, and it also required me to uh, completely be in the process of creating, because it was not just typing and having a mental capacity to do it, but also physically creating, because it was more art based and I had to be then and there. And again, living alone, not having extra resources, not having the luxuries that I do here. I used to just go to a subway. I used to pick it up, and then I'm connecting to the fact that even now in this space, when I'm sitting here and I had this really crunch time of completing things on deadline and wanting to do the best I could possibly do, being as creative as I possibly can, I was craving a Subway. So I don't know, it's just a
Yeah,
collective thing as to the watching the dramas at some random hour, to the idea that that got settled, because in my previous degree I had nothing like that. Assignments
yeah.
were just like nothing to
And
do. But these two spaces that was there.
I just noticed another cool thing. You said
Hmm.
that abroad you were missing that connection, the family connection that wasn't there, right? And
Hmm.
even though you are with your family, but the Fonseca song, you said that it was something very innate to your family. It connects you. You guys remember all the things. And then when the pause uh, art was art prompt was given, immediately that family connection came in along
I
with
guess.
you sitting with having to fulfill the deadlines. So this is so cool, man, because when we know these things about ourselves, so now like the next deadline, you or I'll remember for you, since I remember things like these. I'll be like, yeah, so you have your subway. You'll be like, I have this crunch deadline. I was supposed to be done with this 1 month ago, but I have only 3 days. So I'll be like, okay, Fonseca song. have your family connect in pockets of time and order a Subway.
And yeah, I think besides that, I require peanuts. I just like
Peanut.
munch on them constantly while writing a paper. I mean, yeah, I don't know, for some reason, I eat a lot of peanuts when I'm writing. I don't know if they help me or what do they give me. Well, okay, scientifically, nutritionally, no. But just the idea, like I have to keep munching on something, so I usually choose peanuts.
And I also had that munchy thing that it was like when I was sharing with you that as the deadline was coming closer and closer, I was like, I have to pull in the big guns, go, and
Yeah.
I went and got Uncle's chips and thumbs up, and I was like, I have to get on this to be able to. And what I discovered was it wasn't really doing it for me. So
This
I
time.
think, yeah, I think I've moved on from that. And hence I wanted to have a discussion about it. Like, I did have a few things I was gravitating towards, which very much worked. And I've seen this as a pattern with me that, yeah, I have to constantly keep coming with like a new thing. I mean, old things, yes, they do stay on, but there are some things which just need a refresher. So I think that Uncle Chips is something like that. And this time it was music videos,
Hmm.
like just escaping into old music videos, just watching the them back to back, and like Instagram scrolling was just not helping, right? And what else was there? So yeah, I was creating a melancholy environment for myself. Music was helping a lot.
Hmm.
So I was playing haunting sounds, like a haunted mansion vibes, and like I had created my environment also like that.
With the light and the, I guess not gloomy, but just like, I wonder what it says about you wanting to create in a haunted environment. Like, what element does that drive? Also, in terms of food,
I have the
wouldn't
answer.
it be interesting? Oh, of course. In food, wouldn't it be interesting to kind of see what it could potentially be? If not thumbs up and Uncle Chips, what else?
What else? So here's what I understood, that even though I have my ritualistic things that I
Hmm.
go to, right? It's always like different headspace, different cravings. So definitely this was somewhat of a different headspace, because as I grow or evolve, you know, as I evolve, there are these things that were useful. They also like become stale or something, and new things have to come in. So yeah, I was just tapping into, okay, what am I craving right now? So what I was craving was like that dairy milk chocolate, the bite into that dairy milk chocolate at room temperature, not really melty, not even, fridge temperature, but like good room temperature, just that bite into that. That was keeping me going last night as I was like pulling an all-nighter to submit the assignment. So just like little bites of it, just not the flavor, not the sweetness or the, how it makes my olfactory senses feel, the bite. So it's like that specific, you know?
Very specific. And it's just making me think of you as a vampire only. The bite aspect of it. Especially since we've been talking about the genius new entertainment show
Oh my God.
available on vampires.
Oh my God. Yeah, and then me not aging.
Yeah.
So So yeah,
And then the haunted atmosphere also, well, and the red could be blood.
red could be blood. Me craving red and all that. So I was mood matching that thing, um, like the assignment topics were a very serious psychopathology. So I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, let's have fun with it. Because so hence the mood matching of it all. So like, if I had to best explain it, I like theme parties. So like I create a theme around it. So if writing that paper was an event, then I had to create that whole environment. And horrors and all are quite soothing to me. It's,
Mm.
I don't know, it just feels like home to me, you know. So yeah, there are people who really like that feeling of feeling scared, you know.
Interesting.
So there is obviously that rush that is there, and there is that soothingness to it, the calm of it all, the calm before the storm.
What is the storm? I wonder. I thought we got done with it. We crossed it. We were over the turbulent waves.
So, like, there is something so interesting to sit with that anticipation anxiety of someone else going through it and me feeling safe in my own space and knowing that this is just a movie. So that from that vantage, that little, distance, that feels safe when, that feeling, scared feeling is exciting, or I can't find a better. I'm really trying to not get psychology jargony over here. So yeah. What is your watching soothing view? What do we call it?
I think for me, soothing is anything that I've really seen well, as in I've watched it. I'm getting no unnecessarily dramatic flare ups happening in the show that I'm watching, or there are quite a few things. I don't have a specific that okay, in these times I'm going to go and watch these. Maybe when I'm not well, that does tend to happen. I go towards the rom-com kind of films, comfort films. But in this case, it's nothing really. I just want to detach from thinking very actively about what we've been thinking about the entire day in terms of what the research is or the content is, but it keeps going on in my head. Like it still
Yeah.
is. And I want to detach from it. So if I don't watch something that's gripping for me, I will still be in that head zone. So I
Yeah.
will want something that will like have some element of interest and intrigue so that I am sufficiently just detached from that and my mind gets some space to be in this particular headspace of that show.
Yeah, that horror creates that very intrigue for me. So that's why I don't find it that weird, because it's what what is the show that you are consuming, what is it doing to you? What it's doing to me is it's keeping me away, distracted from what was going on work wise, and I'm glued in. And same thing it's doing for you. Like romance was that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get into the whole thing of sensory seeking, sensory avoiding, but I don't want to get all psych jargony right now. Yeah.
I'm just trying to like on a segue to of this topic that we've been going around, how important it is for us to constantly be reminded of the fact that okay, it's okay, you're not alone in this, and why that support system creates such a big feeling of soothing, as you've been saying, and that feeling कि भाई it's okay, you're going to get through this, and there is somebody else. And that's why I find our course, like, so many times people come up to me and ask, Tacha, you're doing an online course, and because it's online, then how will you, like, your classmates, how does it matter where they are and things like those? And I'm like, you have no idea what our cohort is.
Yeah.
It's so amazing how we band together, and distances seem so, like, they don't exist in a sense.
I know
Obviously,
because
when
from, yeah, sorry, you were saying.
no, no, I'm just saying that although when we are in the same physical space, it's amazing. But
Yeah.
even online, we created this thanks to this study sessions, the homework sessions, the midnight calls, the hourly check-ins, the WhatsApp group, which is like a safe space in itself. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think it would have not happened if we guys wouldn't have that requirement of every semester having to be on campus for some time. So I think that's what started it all. I just had a thought about what you were saying, slipped my mind. But yeah, it it really needs to be done like seriously, that we have our, okay, I can fall back on this and this when the next deadline is coming. So yeah, that's why I wanted to like have this conversation. Like, if anybody else is going through a similar thing, they could also just like ponder over, ponder, ponder over, ponder over what helps them, you know, and it
Yeah,
just like,
because, yeah. No, I'm just saying that it is a process of quite a few highs and lows. Like, you have those actual high when you're writing, you're like, oh my God, we're getting stuff done. And you're in that process and in that zone. And then you suddenly like, oh my God, nothing is getting done. And I'm so overwhelmed and anxious right now. And in that, yes, it's like, okay, it's fine. It's okay. You'll get through it.
and every submission that we do, there is like that reminder of, huh, I will do this better next time. And then that time comes, and you're like, how did I get here again? Why? I had such plans and this and that. That's because we are currently in that space ki bhai, we are away from the deadlines here and all. That's why we are able to think this. But as the crunch time is, tabhi I'm like, yeah, this will be a good reminder of, you can pause and open your wings.
And especially like with this last assignment, there was such an element of curiosity. Like, going into rabbit holes was something that we were extremely comfortable doing. We were just like, okay, let's find another one where we can burrow further within. And constantly exploring, which was quite interesting. It was just that conceptualizing it and getting it together, putting it in paper, actually the way we're thinking, being able to express it. Yeah, a lot of other things involved.
One thing I see common with anything that you have to tackle, be it a work thing, event thing, or school thing, yeah, kuch something like government paperwork or whatever needs to be done. Everything has a process, and if the process is broken down into pieces, it somehow like becomes so easy. But if you're so overwhelmed, you can't even get to thinking ki, okay, so this is a process, let me break it down into the, just can't do it. At that time, you're like, I'm too overwhelmed, I can't do this, I give up, I'm going to leave. And speaking of, closing time is here. Closing time is here.
But yeah, I think to constantly breathe and pause is going to be something that I'm going to stick with. To have that, like, Okay.
Yeah. Really, man, this is like too special to have a visual language.
Mhm.
Something really special.
And
I'm
I
so
love the
glad.
yeah. And I love the idea that we're creating it, we're developing it. It can
Yeah,
mean
yeah. Okay then.
but just these emojis.
What?
I'm saying visual language, this metaphoric language that we've been talking about, it can be so much more than just emojis
Yeah,
exchanged.
absolutely. Hmm. I wonder if I could create, I'm gonna create stickers of visual language. Yes.
Amazing.
Right?
Do it.
Okay then.
And the sticker could have like what if it's song as the tagline or something like that to go with it.
And it just speaks out,
Yeah.
creating memes. Yeah, this can be done. Okay then. We were flowing beautifully. Mihai.
It sent me high to everybody else also.
Yeah, to everybody else also. Okay, bye.